Here's something almost no appointment has time to explain. Every single night while you're asleep, your kidneys are doing some of the hardest work they do all day. They're filtering your blood, keeping your blood pressure in check, and clearing out the metabolic waste your body built up over the last 16 hours. And what you eat in the hour or two before you close your eyes has a direct effect on how smoothly that overnight process goes. Most kidney advice online focuses only on what to cut out: less sodium, less potassium, less phosphorus. That's all true and it all matters, but there's a piece almost nobody talks about, and it's just as important. What you can actually add to your evening routine to help your kidneys while they're working overnight. Tonight, I'm walking you through the single best fruit to eat before bed for kidney health, plus 7 strong runners-up, all considered kidney-friendly, that give you real antioxidant support, and real overnight protection without overloading a weakened kidney. Before we get into it, subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one. And drop a comment, tell me where you're watching from and what time it is right now for you. I read every single comment. Stay until the very last fruit, because it comes with a catch that almost nobody mentions, and it's something you genuinely need to know before you eat it. How your kidneys actually work. I am your doctor, and I've spent well over a decade in internal medicine. So let me take 2 minutes to explain something that will make the rest of this video click into place. Your kidneys are 2 fist-sized organs sitting just below your rib cage, one on each side of your spine. Together they filter around 200 liters of blood every day. That's roughly 50 gallons, pulling out waste, extra fluid, toxins, and metabolic byproducts, and sending clean, balanced blood back out into your body. Potassium is essential. It helps your nerves fire, your muscles contract, and your heart beat properly. But when kidneys are damaged, they can lose the ability to clear excess potassium, and levels can climb to a dangerous point called hyperkalemia. That's the core tension in kidney nutrition. Your kidneys need antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds to slow disease progression, but a lot of the fruits richest in those compounds, bananas, oranges, kiwi, melon, are also high in potassium, which puts extra strain on a kidney that's already struggling to keep up. The fruit I'm about to give you the top spot to, and the 7 right behind it, solve that exact problem. Real nutrition, real antioxidants, real fiber, without the potassium load. Let's get into it. The best bedtime fruit for kidney health, tart cherries. This is the one. Out of every fruit that exists, tart cherries are the most specifically suited to nighttime eating, and the research behind them is some of the most credible you'll find in kidney nutrition. Tart cherries contain phytomelatonin, a plant-based compound that supports a healthy circadian rhythm. Sour or Montmorency, cherries are classified as a low-potassium food, under 200 milligrams per serving, with only trace sodium and low phosphorus, which means they're considered appropriate at every stage of kidney disease. Here's why the timing matters so much. Your kidneys help regulate blood pressure through a rhythm tied directly to sleep. Normally, blood pressure is supposed to drop while you sleep, something called nocturnal dipping. When sleep is poor or broken, that drop doesn't happen the way it should, and your kidneys end up absorbing hours of extra pressure they weren't designed to handle overnight. Research has found that the melatonin, tryptophan, and plant compounds in tart cherries can improve sleep quality by lowering inflammation and oxidative stress, and a study specifically looking at older adults with insomnia found tart cherry juice produced meaningful improvements comparable to some of the natural sleep aids people already reach for, like valerian. Better sleep means a healthier nighttime blood pressure pattern, which means less overnight pressure on the delicate filtering vessels inside your kidneys. What to do? 1/2 to 1 cup of tart cherries, or 4 to 8 ounces of unsweetened tart cherry juice, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Stick to sour or Montmorency varieties specifically. Sweet cherries carry a much higher potassium load and are a different conversation entirely. Runner-up number 2, blueberries. Blueberries are one of the most studied foods in all of nutrition, and they happen to line up almost perfectly with what a kidney needs. A 1/2 cup serving carries under 150 milligrams of potassium, and they're low in sodium and phosphorus too, which makes them appropriate across every stage of kidney disease, including every type of dialysis. The compound doing the work here is anthocyanins, the same family of anti-inflammatory plant pigments we just talked about in cherries, but working through slightly different pathways. Some research has linked eating berries a few times a week to real reductions in cardiovascular risk, and because heart disease and kidney disease share the same inflammatory root and tend to progress together, protecting one often protects the other. For anyone over 60 managing kidney concerns, that overlap is a genuine 2-for-1. What to do? A half cup of blueberries, fresh, frozen, or freeze-dried, all retain their antioxidant punch, makes a perfect low-potassium bedtime portion. Runner-up number 3, strawberries. Strawberries might be the sweetest, easiest option on this whole list. A half cup contains only around 130 milligrams of potassium, one of the lowest numbers of any fruit, which makes them safe even for people managing advanced kidney disease with strict potassium limits. Strawberries have been shown in research to raise plasma antioxidant capacity and glutathione levels, both markers of lower oxidative stress, and oxidative stress is one of the main engines behind kidney disease getting worse over time. They also carry small amounts of natural tryptophan, not as concentrated as tart cherries, but enough to add a gentle, relaxing edge to an evening snack. What to do? Half a cup, fresh or frozen, rinsed right before eating. Pair it with a small spoon of plain unsweetened yogurt for a more filling bedtime option. Runner-up number 4, apples. This might be the most underrated fruit on the entire list, mostly because it's so ordinary that nobody thinks twice about it. Apples are rich in fiber and antioxidants, and low in potassium, phosphorus, and sodium. And here's a detail most people miss. Eating the peel gives you several times more antioxidant power than eating the flesh alone. For anyone managing both kidney concerns and blood sugar, which is an extremely common combination, the fiber in a whole apple slows glucose absorption, which reduces overnight blood sugar swings that can otherwise complicate kidney function. Apples also contain malic acid, related to citrate, which helps create a more alkaline urine environment, generally more protective against the most common type of kidney stone. What to do? 1 medium apple, peel on, eaten slowly in the evening. A light dusting of Ceylon cinnamon pairs well, and adds its own blood sugar benefit. Runner-up number 5, grapes. Grapes are consistently grouped by kidney nutrition guides as a low-potassium fruit, right alongside apples, blueberries, and strawberries. What makes them stand out is resveratrol, a compound concentrated in the skin of red and purple grapes, along with the flavonoids responsible for their deep color, which have been linked to a lower risk of blood clotting, a meaningful benefit for anyone managing higher cardiovascular risk alongside kidney concerns. There's a practical bonus too. Many people managing kidney disease are also on fluid restrictions, and frozen grapes make an excellent cooling, satisfying snack that takes a while to eat without adding real fluid volume. What to do? A small handful, about half a cup, of red or purple grapes. Freeze them first if you're watching your fluid intake. Runner-up number 6, raspberries. Raspberries may be the highest fiber fruit on this entire list for their size, with roughly 4 grams of fiber per half cup, double what most fruits offer in the same portion. That fiber matters in 2 specific ways. First, it feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which produce compounds that lower systemic inflammation, the same inflammation driving kidney disease forward. Second, fiber slows the absorption of everything eaten alongside it, including phosphorus from the rest of your evening meal, which gives your kidneys a small but real break. What to do? Half a cup, fresh or frozen. Mix them with tart cherries for a bedtime combination that stacks several benefits at once. Runner-up number 7, pineapple. This one surprises people because pineapple feels too acidic and tropical to belong on a kidney-friendly list, but it's consistently classified as a low-potassium fruit. The standout compound here is bromelain, a natural enzyme with documented anti-inflammatory effects, and since inflammation drives kidney disease progression, any safe natural anti-inflammatory addition is worth knowing about. Fresh pineapple also carries tryptophan, contributing to a more relaxed wind-down when eaten in the evening. What to do? Half a cup of fresh pineapple, cut into chunks. Fresh, not canned, since heat processing destroys most of the bromelain. Runner-up number 8, the one with a catch, cranberries. Cranberries have been linked to kidney and urinary health for decades, and there is genuine research behind it, but there are two things most videos get wrong. Cranberry products may reduce the risk of recurrent urinary tract infections in women who've had them before, through compounds that stop bacteria from sticking to the bladder wall. But cranberries do not treat an active infection. If you think you have one, that requires a doctor, not a snack. Here's the catch that matters most for kidneys specifically. Raw cranberries are so tart that almost nobody eats them plain, so most cranberry products on shelves, juice cocktails, sweetened dried cranberries, are loaded with added sugar. And sugar-sweetened beverages are directly linked to a higher risk of kidney disease. So a product marketed as good for your kidneys can quietly work against them if it's full of sugar. The real benefit lives in the unsweetened form only. What to do? Choose unsweetened cranberry juice, unsweetened dried cranberries in small portions, or raw or frozen whole cranberries. Skip the sweetened cocktails entirely. And if you take a blood thinner like warfarin, mention cranberry use to your pharmacist, since there's some conflicting evidence about interaction. The bedtime kidney bowl. Here's a simple combination you can make tonight. Half a cup of tart cherries, a handful of blueberries, and 3 or 4 strawberries in one bowl. That single bowl gives you phytomelatonin for sleep and nighttime blood pressure support, anthocyanins for anti-inflammatory protection, vitamin C, fiber for your gut and for moderating phosphorus absorption, and a potassium load low enough to fit nearly every stage of kidney disease. No supplements, no complicated prep, just 3 fruits in a bowl, eaten 30 to 60 minutes before bed. When to call your doctor. Every fruit on this list is broadly considered kidney-friendly, but broad guidance isn't the same as guidance for you specifically. If you're managing advanced kidney disease, stage 4 or 5, your potassium and phosphorus limits may be tight enough that even these lower potassium fruits need to be tracked carefully. Your kidney dietitian is the person who can tell you exactly how these fruits fit your personal daily budget. And if it's been a while since you've had a kidney function test, especially if you're over 60, ask for one at your next visit. A basic panel measuring creatinine, eGFR, and electrolytes gives you the real starting picture. Let me tell you about a patient of mine, Margaret, 74 years old, managing early-stage kidney disease along with poor sleep and recurring urinary tract infections. When we reviewed her diet, she'd quietly cut out almost all fruit, worried that fruit automatically meant potassium, and potassium automatically meant danger. In doing that, she'd also cut out the main source of antioxidants and sleep-supportive nutrients she had access to in the evening. We rebuilt her evening routine together. Tart cherries before bed for sleep and blood pressure support, blueberries and strawberries for antioxidant coverage, unsweetened whole cranberries a few times a week for UTI prevention. Within 6 weeks, her sleep had noticeably improved, and her UTIs, which used to show up almost monthly, hadn't recurred in over 2 months. Her kidney markers stayed stable at her next check, which at her stage was exactly the goal. She told me the biggest surprise was how good it felt to be adding something to her routine instead of just restricting things. That shift made it far easier for her to actually stick with it. Everything in this video is educational, based on published research and established kidney nutrition guidance, not personalized medical advice. It doesn't replace your kidney dietitian's individual recommendations. If you're on dialysis, take blood thinners, or have specific dietary restrictions from your care team, always confirm any new food addition with them first before making it a habit. Your action plan for tonight. 1. Tart cherries, half to 1 cup or unsweetened juice, 30 to 60 minutes before bed. 2. Blueberries, half a cup. 3. Strawberries, half a cup. 4. 1 medium apple with the peel on. 5. A small handful of red or purple grapes, frozen if you're on fluid restriction. 6. Raspberries, half a cup. 7. Half a cup of fresh pineapple. 8. Unsweetened cranberries only. Start with the first 3 tonight, and add the rest one at a time over the coming week, so you can actually notice how your body responds. If you're building the bedtime bowl tonight, tell me in the comments which 3 you're starting with. I read every single one. If you want more real, well-sourced information like this, subscribe. This channel is Senior Diet Coach, and new videos come out every week. covering what the research actually says about kidney health and healthy aging after 60. My next video covers the 5 everyday drinks that are quietly raising your creatinine, including one that's marketed specifically as a health drink. I'll see you there.